It was this, that Dehino asmin yatha dehe komaram jauvanam jara tatha dehantar prapti dhiras tatra ramujjati. So this verse was told to Arjuna with context with what Krishna had said earlier, that we don't have any birth, we don't have any death. So if we don't have any birth, if we don't have any death, then what is this happening in front of us? We see people taking birth, we see people die. So why is this happening? So this was going in Arjuna's mind. So Krishna could read that, and he said that actually there are two things. One is deha, that is the body, and the other is dehi, that is the one who resides within the body. So, you know, the body takes birth, the body grows, the body becomes adult, the body becomes, old, it gets it gets diseased, and ultimately it dies. So it's all about the body. But the one who resides within the body, the soul or the consciousness, that does not have any change. Every change happens in the external surface. In the external surface, nothing happens, in the soul level. The soul is the same. When the soul enters the body, whatever the soul was at that time, when it goes out of the body, then also the soul is the same. There is no change, there is no modification, there is nothing. It's always the same. And also, when the soul goes, and that is why he says, that is why when the soul goes from one body to the another body. So we talk about death. Death means, everything is finished. That is what we talk about death. But Krishna is defining death as a journey from one body to another body. So, and that is why Krishna is saying that, you are in grief. People who don't, because you don't know the truth. And people like you who have never known the truth, they grieve. But the person who is, tatha dehantar prapti dhiras tatra namujjati. Dhira means the wise man. Those who sees the truth, or those who have seen the truth, those, who have experienced the consciousness or known themselves, they, when people die, they don't have any grief, because they know that it is not death actually. It is also a journey. It's a migration. And that is what Krishna was saying. And this was the last verse that we had ended. So now, when Krishna said this, then Arjuna had another doubt. Okay, you say that we don't have any birth and death, we don't have any change, we are always the same. But what about these sufferings that we experience? If I do not change, if I am not affected by anything, if I am always free, then how do I suffer? So this was the question of, it was the doubt within Arjuna's mind. And Lord Krishna now is dispelling that doubt. Whenever you listen to Bhagavad Gita, always you know that Bhagavad Gita was told by Lord Krishna with context to Arjuna's doubts and questions. So as we go further, we might see that, the one verse does not have any connection with the other verse. So apparently, we can see that, these two verses, which are, which are back to back, maybe they don't they are not continuous, but it is actually like this, that when Krishna was speaking and Arjuna was listening, then Arjuna had some doubts, and Krishna knew these doubts. He could feel these doubts, and then he was clearing those doubts. And that is why, in some places of Bhagavad Gita, it might seem that one sloka is not, in continuous or in relevant to the next sloka. So this might happen. So the next question, the next doubt was of Arjuna was this, that okay, so if we don't take birth, if we don't die, if we always remain, uh, if we always remain like neutral, we don't do anything, there's no change in us, then how do we suffer? So this Lord Krishna is now explaining. Matra sparshas tu konteya shitoshna sukha dukhada agama paino anitvam tvam titikshasva bharata. So now he's bringing the concept of how does we suffer, how do we suffer. He says matra means scale. So where do we have scale, or how is scale related to us? The senses that we have, they are actually the medium of measurement. Like I have my eyes, so with those eyes I can see. When I see, I can differentiate between two objects or many objects. I can see which is near, which is far. I can see the difference of color. I can see the difference of light. I can see everything. You know, that means my eyes is a scale. The eyes is a scale. Then ears. I listen. That means the ears can perceive sound. So when I am perceiving sound, I can know where from the sound is coming. Is it coming from far or near? What kind of sound it is? Is it a male sound? Is it a female sound? It's a human sound or an animal? Is it a machine? Is it birds? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it auspicious? It is not auspicious. It is low. It is high. Everything about sound I can know. Why? Because my ears are also a scale. Aditi, mute your microphone. Uh, my ears are also a scale. So, uh, so this is another scale. Then nose. I smell through nose. So when I smell through nose, I know which is good smell, which is bad smell, which smell is coming from far, which is near, which is what kind of smell it is. Like, is it the smell of a flower? Is it the smell of a fruit? Is it the smell of a vegetable or anything? I know all this. So this nose also is a a scale, a unit of measurement, or a medium of measurement. Then the fourth uh, sense that we have is tongue. With the tongue we perceive taste, so we can know how is the taste. Is it good, is it bad? In good or bad, is it sweet, is it sour, is it bitter, is it spicy, non-spicy, is it hot? So all this we can measure through our tongue. Okay, so the tongue also is a medium of a medium of measurement. And the fifth sense that we have is skin. With skin we perceive touch. So when we touch, we know, is it what is it? Is it a man? Is it a woman? Is it a child? Is it hot? Is it cold? Like uh, like now it is spring. So now we know that it's spring. Why? Because the atmosphere, we get connected with the atmosphere through the skin. So we know that it's spring. Before 2 months it was winter. How did we feel cold? when the atmosphere came in contact with the skin, then we could feel cold. So with skin also is a medium of measurement. So we have actually five mediums of measurement, which is called five sense. Five sen this five senses: eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. So here it says Matra Sparshastu Konteya. Konteya means the son of Kunti. That is, he is talking to Arjuna. Sparshastu means when it comes in contact. So when the senses comes in contact. Now, with whom does the sense comes in contact? The senses does not come in contact with my mind. It does not comes in contact with my intellect or ego or myself. The senses actually comes in contact with the external world, or you can say sense objects. When we say external world, you know, external world is, if you see what is external world, external world is all about form, sound, smell, taste, and touch. This external world that you see is made up of these five, elements. One is sound, one is form, one is smell, one is taste, and one is touch. These are called sense objects. So when the senses comes in contact with the sense objects, when the sense comes in contact with the sense objects, in the way we perceive heat or cold. Like, how do I know it is hot? When my skin is exposed to hot weather, then I know it is hot. When my skin is exposed to cold weather, then I know that it is cold. In the same way, when our senses gets connected or is exposed to the sense objects, then the reaction or the result which is produced is either happiness or sorrow. So the happiness and sorrow that Arjuna is experiencing here, it's not only happiness and sorrow, all the emotions like greed, lust, anger, you know, all these emotions are also there. So whatever experience you have in the mental level, spiritual level, or physical level, whatever experience you have, these all are because of the contact of the sense with the sense objects. The soul has nothing to do with it. The self or consciousness has nothing to do with it. Okay? And Lord Krishna says, this has been coming from like millions and millions of years in this way. Agama Paino. It has been coming from from when the universe started. From there it's coming. It has nothing to do with you, but this is called Prakriti. This is called nature. It's good and bad, both. Duality. You are in the realm of duality. So because you are in the realm of duality, then you have to face all these things. Because these are all coming. You cannot deny it. You cannot just say that no, I will not have cold. I will not have heat. It is there. You have to face it. In the same way, happiness and sorrow are this. They are in the nature, and you have to face it. But you have to know that these are anitya. That is, these are not true. There is another truth beyond this, which is the eternal truth. This truth that we experience is not actually the eternal truth. It is it is superficial. It is worldly. It is worldly. It is not eternal. Agama paino anityam, and that is why, because it is not real, you feel it, but it is not real. That is why what you have to do? Tvam titikshasva bharata. That is why you need to just bear it, go through it. You have to learn to go through it. When there is happiness, when there is sorrow, you cannot change it. If you have happiness, you will have sorrow. Because we have happiness, we will have sorrow. So you cannot change it. So what to do? But I know that happiness has come, but it's not going to stay. Sometimes, after sometimes, sorrow will come. Now sorrow has come, it is also not going to stay. It will also change into happiness. Now what should I do? I should learn. But that's it. I know. Just that's it. you know Sorry. uh just this one line. Okay. You will do it. I will tell you. Don't worry. Wherever you miss, I will tell you. So, happiness and sorrow, though it is here, it cannot be. Uh, it it it's not going to stay forever, and that is why bear it. So, he said that this is going to come. Happiness and sorrow, or pain, pleasure and pain. This is going to come. You need to accept it, and you need to go through it. That's all. You cannot say that I will not have it. You cannot say this because you are in this system. And then he says, yang hina vyathayante te purushang purushashrava sama dukha sukham dhiram sa amritatvaya kalpate. Now he's connecting this accepting this acceptance of everything that comes to us. He's connecting this acceptance with the highest achievement, highest attainment. He says that I know that there is pain in this world, but you know a person who is within pain, but who is not pained, he is in pain, he's suffering, but he is not a sufferer. He has patience. He is not pained. That person is actually the real human being. That person is actually the one, Purusham. Here, Purusha means the self, consciousness. So, a person who does not give up, in extreme these adversities, when situations are very challenging, very demanding. Then also, when a person does not give up, when he stands straight, this is a quality of the self, of consciousness. So he also becomes like that self. His quality, you know, through his, uh, uh, through his qualities, he actually becomes like the self. Yam hina vyathante te purusham purushasrava. A person who is not pained, even in pain, he is actually the Purusha, or the real self, or the real being. Then he says, Sama dukha sukham dhiram. A person who can accept happiness and sorrow to be the same, both as equal. Happiness and sorrow, pleasure and pain, profit and loss, victory and defeat. If you can consider all these opposites, all this pair of opposites to be the same, then he is dhiram. That is, then he is a actually wise man. Then he elevates himself into wisdom. So, sama dukha sukham dhiram. A person who can accept, both these extreme conditions to be the same, is actually a wise man. Sa amritatvaya kalpate. And you know what? This acceptance, this sameness, when you establish yourself in this sameness, when you are same with both, in both situations, whether you like it or you don't like it, you are the same in both conditions. You are happy or you are sad, you are the same in both conditions. If you can come to this point of sameness, this sameness actually is the only qualification to attain immortality. If you come to this sameness, you have attained the quality to attain in immortality. So this is what he is saying, Aditi. So now let us think about it. Happiness, it changes into sadness. That means happiness does not stay forever. It changes into sadness. Now when sadness comes, sadness also does not stay forever. It also changes into happiness. So Lord Krishna now is telling Arjuna, which in this world you will see falsehood, and you will see truth. Now, how will you choose, or how will you determine the truth from falseness? Because when you see the falseness, that also appears to you as truth. Like when you are sad, you are really sad, and you have no way to get out of it, and you think that this is not going to stop. I'm going to spend my entire life being sad, but it doesn't happen. After some time, the sadness goes, happiness comes. Now when happiness comes, we think that we are in the top of the world. There is nothing which can defeat us, there is nothing which can stop us. But suddenly we see there is a stop. I cannot approach further. So so these things which happens in the world is all false, because they change. And the thing which is beyond this world does not change, and that is truth. And that is what Lord Krishna now is saying. What is saying? Nasate vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sata, ubhoirapi drishtanto tu anayos tattvadarshi bhihi. Now what does it mean? Bhava means existence. Sata means truth. Na sate, that which is not true. That which is not true will never have its existence. Existence means existence forever. So I have some happiness, and after some time it becomes sadness. That means happiness did not have its existence forever. And that is why this is not true. And that is why you should not go after this. Again, sadness comes. Sadness also does not stay for long. Sadness also goes. It also does not have its existence. So because it does not have its existence, you should not go off, think about this sadness also, because this is also not going to stay. So na sate vidyate bhavo, that which is not true will never have its existence. Na bhavo vidyate sata. And the one which is truth, na abhavo, that is, it will never cease. That means it will always stay. The truth will always stay. Now, when you see in this world, look at this world around and search that which always stays. You will see there is nothing. Everything was in the past, is in the present, but it will not be in the future. There are something which was not in the past, it is now in the present, and it might not stay in the future. So nothing is permanent here. So because nothing is permanent here, this world is not true. The one which is truth will never cease to exist. It will always have its existence. We don't have anything in this world which we can say that this will always exist. We cannot say this. Ubhayoropi drishtanto tu anayo tattvadarshi. The wise man, it's only the wise man who can see the difference between this truth and false. Who can not only see this worldly truth, worldly falsehood, they can also see that eternal truth which never changes. So there is one truth. And now, as we go into Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna will instruct Arjuna about that truth. And this Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, these all yogas are actually pathways by which I can attain this truth. So now the stage is set. Lord Krishna has set the stage. This world is false. Everything is false. So don't go here. There is another truth. Now, how can I go there? Because I don't know this. I don't know whether there is a world beyond this world or not. I don't know. And that is why slowly now, as we approach further in Bhagavad Gita, we will see Lord Krishna is directing Arjuna towards that eternal truth. Okay? So today we will stop here, and in our next class tomorrow we'll start from here.